Welcome to the Hired Not Fired podcast, brought to you by The Real Me, the soft skills first talent solution that helps employers hire entry-level employees with better developed soft skills, such as communication, problem solving, or emotional intelligence. Join us as we sit down with hiring managers, talent leaders, and others and get insider tips to help Gen Z stand out and get hired. Let's dive in. Welcome back to part 2 of our episode of Hired Not Fired with Abbey Brewer from Alcon. And we are going to continue and hear a little more about how you can stand out when applying for an internship or a job. Abbey, welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much for having me back. Really excited to be a part of part 2.
All right, so let's dig into the weeds. How can candidates show off their soft skills beyond just writing them on a resume?
It's a really great question. And I would definitely say to practice. When you are having the conversations with the recruiter, with the hiring managers, to really make sure that you bring your whole authentic best self to the interview and really let those skills shine. When we think about those technical roles at Alcon, we do hire a lot of students that are focused on those technical roles, and sometimes the soft skills are really lacking for them. So I always tell students, just bring your whole best authentic self and really let those skills shine through when you are in the interview, because that's going to be the time that you're going to be able to showcase that. You can put the technical things on the resume, but really make sure that those skills come out. I don't know if you're going to ask me what are some of those soft skills that I would say, but in regards to what I've already said, think about like handwritten notes, even in email. I know a lot of us are in remote locations now, but doing a follow-up with an email, I think always adds a really nice touch. And I think that our hiring managers really appreciate that. I think that's just one skill that we can all do that really thinks about those soft skills.
Yeah, that's a great point. And I love how you actually mentioned the handwritten note, because that's something I've been hearing a lot about lately. Really want to stand out? Send something snail mail, right?
Yeah,
Right. Put something in
exactly.
handwriting. And
Yeah,
it's not a bad idea, right? One way to be
no,
remembered. Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, I think it's a nice touch.
so beyond maybe some of the things you've said, what else can someone do? Like, let's say this week, someone listening to get noticed.
Yeah. So I would definitely encourage students that when you are thinking about your resume, and oftentimes you think, oh goodness, I do not have all of those skills that are listed, but in all reality, you do, because you can really dig into the projects that you are a part of at school. You can dig into the way that you collaborated with your teammates when you think about a project you were a part of. What about interactions with people volunteering or interactions with professors? Those are things that you can include. The number one tip that I tell students is to always tailor your resume to be a part of what the job description is saying. So, really changing your resume per job description, which I know is a lot of work, but that's how you are going to stand out. Really thinking through the experiences that you had to be a part of at your university with partnership with your the different projects you were a part of, or collaborations with a professor, or volunteer activities, just really making sure that those things shine through. I think that that is one thing that you can do this week to really help you stand out.
That's great advice. And we say that a lot in our courses and our programs. You do have experience. Now, just
Yeah.
let's look at it and how can you mine that experience for examples of soft skills that you can then show off to a hiring manager, especially athletes, anyone who's done sports. Whether it's in high school or college, you have a lot of soft skills that you've worked on. For starters,
Exactly.
coachability, which is so valuable, right? And then there's the teamwork, the collaboration. So athletes have already have a leg up in the soft skill department, but you can find these examples in any of the extracurricular activities. So I love that you bring that up. Thank you.
Yeah, even thinking about like say adaptability, you can
Mhm.
really think about that when you had a timeline that changed abruptly, or you had somebody step out of the group or something along those lines. Those are great soft skills to incorporate into your resume.
Right. Great example. Is there any other advice, maybe underrated tools or job search moves that you recommend?
Yeah, so I'm a big LinkedIn person. I think that that's always a good one. I also
Mm.
think going directly to a company's website, that will also help you get really connected to the mission. Also, make sure that when you do apply for a role at a company, that you really understand what it is that they do and really make sure that you can get on board with that. Here at Alcon, we're the global leader in the eye care industry. We help people see brilliantly. If you have no passion in helping somebody, Alcon might not be the right place for you because we are a mission-driven company. So I definitely say that go and make sure that you want to work at companies, you understand what it is that they do.
Great advice. Now, let me ask, is there a hiring trend that you wish would just disappear?
Yes, the requiring years of experience for early entry level roles. Come on, people, let's let it go. That is one that I'm like, ugh, that's a hard one. Why do they have to have 3 years of experience when they don't have 3 years of experience?
Yep.
So that's one that I really wish would honestly go away.
I'm so glad you said that. That is one thing that drives me insane, not just in this field, but also as a parent. I remember when my son was a recent grad and he was applying for a job, and he was so fed up saying they all want 5 years experience.
I
And I said,
know.
this was at a time when I wasn't as aware. And I said, well, then look for the entry level jobs. He goes, those are the entry level jobs.
Yeah.
So it's like, so there's a disconnect. It can't be entry level if you're requiring 3 to 5 years experience. So I am so glad you brought that up.
I agree.
All right. Anything else that you want to share with young job seekers that we haven't already mentioned?
I would say that perfecting your elevator pitch and really understanding when somebody asks about you, really nailing that down and getting comfortable with that. Because that's going to be the first question that everyone's going to ask you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Make sure that you add in things about you personally. We also want to get to know you as a personal person, but also add in there, some of the teams that you were a part of, or what you loved about your school. What were some of your favorite classes? I think that perfecting your elevator pitch is really helpful for students because you're going to meet people at career fairs, you might meet people at a networking event, and really being able to nail that down is only going to help you with opening that door.
Mhm. That's great advice. One last question. You did mention at the beginning of the first episode that you like to see meet people in person.
Mhm.
So, what are some of those opportunities for students? Where can they meet Alcon in person?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we do try to meet a lot of people in person. So we do go to career fairs. We also host universities at our campus in Fort Worth, Texas. We have
Nice.
a great campus here. We also do networking events at other universities. We do an externship. So we try to bring in students that way. So we really like to meet students in those different areas. But look, there's a lot of great students out there. Then we can't go everywhere. And so we will also put a call out, poster requisition and hire students directly from there. And that's really where the resume is going to come in. So making sure that you incorporate those soft skills into those technical skills as well on your resume.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm sure that the listeners got so much wonderful advice, and I really appreciate your being here and sharing.
Thank you so much for having me, Deb. This was great.